This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review with your MLB early lines report for the games on Wednesday, August 17th. Let's start with Pittsburgh, San Francisco. We've been liking the Pirates quite a bit in this series. I had a bet on them Monday night with Vogelsong getting the win over this Giants team, and Pittsburgh an underdog Tuesday night, which we talked about, and now they're an underdog Wednesday as well against this sputtering San Francisco Giants team, a Giants team that has not played good baseball for large stretches since the All-Star break. We've noted that repeatedly. This has not been a team that's been stringing any sort of winning streaks together, and it's definitely not a team that I trust with Matt Cain on the mound. In fact, we went against San Francisco in Matt Cain's last start when he faced the Baltimore Orioles, cashed a pretty easy ticket with the Orioles in that game, a 5-2 win for Baltimore, and Cain back to his struggles. I said before that game, don't be fooled by his back-to-back shutouts against the Washington Nationals. He was still walking too many guys, and it was a concern for me going forward. And against Baltimore, they really hit him around very, very hard. 5 runs on 10 hits and 4 innings for Cain against Baltimore, including a couple of home runs allowed. He's facing a Pittsburgh Pirates team that is suddenly hitting the ball very, very well. I mean, you look at their last 7 games, what they've been able to do. I mean, they've scored 6, 4, 5, 4, 11, 8 runs in 5 of those last 6 games. It's an offense that's starting to come to life. Greg Polanco's hitting well. Starling Marte is hitting well. Even McCutchen's coming alive a little bit, which is a very good sign for this Pittsburgh team. So I like their lineup to do a little bit of damage here. We've mentioned, too, the San Francisco bullpen of late. They have been not getting the job done. They have struggled giving up runs later in games in recent weeks. That might be more of the same here from that Giants bullpen. You can't trust Matt Cain to pitch deep, that's for sure. Look at his recent starts. I mean, 1.2, 3.2, 2.1, 5.1, 5, 5, 4 are the innings that he's logged in his last several starts. He's not eating up innings whatsoever. It's already a tired Giants bullpen. They're going to probably be in play here again early in this game. And I know Ivan Nova is not a guy that's going to, set off people. He's not an attractive pitcher to bet on. Let's put it that way. I mean, he's a guy that's got decent stuff. He's not great by any stretch, but I like the way he's pitched lately. I mean, look at the results here for Ivan Nova. He ended his tenure with the Yankees doing a pretty decent job, and his first 2 starts with Pittsburgh rather. Pitched very well, allowed just 4 runs in 12.1 innings combined over 2 starts against Cincinnati and the Dodgers. Pittsburgh went 2-0 in those first 2 Ivan Nova starts here for this Pittsburgh Pirates team since he joined them. And look at his 2 starts in the past against San Francisco. Fantastic for Ivan Nova. 1 run allowed, a single run, that's it, in 16 career innings pitched against San Francisco in the past. So, like what I'm seeing from Ivan Nova. Pittsburgh, the team that's clearly in better form, and they're now 60-56, and all of a sudden, I mentioned this team might be fading out of the playoff race a couple of weeks ago. Don't tell them they're out of it now. They're playing like they still believe in that clubhouse that the Pirates can get a wild card spot. So Pittsburgh's playing with some motivation. I have no problem stepping in, backing them as a dog once again here. Plus 110, right in that range with the Pirates against the struggling San Francisco Giants. Definitely looking at Pittsburgh as an underdog in that one. Let's see what else we've got for the Wednesday slate. Toronto Yankees. J.A. Happ, I don't know how you bet against him right now. He has been very, very good for the Jays, but again, it's a question of value. Minus 150, minus 155. Not in my wheelhouse to lay that kind of price on the road, even though if I did have to play that one, I would lean to the Jays if I had to make a bet in that game. Price and Tillman, a big matchup between Boston and Baltimore on Wednesday. Hard really to figure out David Price, is it not? I mean, it's just one of those guys that has had some excellent outings, and then some times where he's gotten absolutely just blasted this season. It's hard to make heads or tails of what David Price you're going to expect start in and start out. I can tell you that on the road he's been a little bit problematic. 4.34 ERA. Boston just 5-7, and David Price's 12 road starts this season. And on the flip side, you've got Chris Tillman, 12-1 Okay, 12-1 are the Orioles, and Chris Tillman's 13 home starts at Camden Yards this year, 3.74 ERA for Tillman at home this season, and he's just been Mr. Consistent. I mean, now you look back at his last 8 starts, he has allowed 3 runs or less in 7 of those last 8 starts. He had one bad start, and it was against Colorado, and you throw that one aside, it's been remarkably consistent efforts from Chris Tillman. Really the one shining light and the one consistent ray of light in this Baltimore Orioles starting rotation that has been a little bit problematic throughout the course of the season. And then you see the price here, no pun intended, of this game with Baltimore as a home underdog. We know how awesome Baltimore's been at home this season. I can only bet Baltimore as a home dog. I mean, their home record at Camden Yards has been just spectacular. 39-17, 22 games above 500 at home, and Boston just mediocre 2 games above 500 on the road. So I think it's definitely value in the price with Baltimore and Chris Tillman in that game. Definitely will probably have some kind of wager on the Orioles prior to first pitch in that one on Wednesday night. Other than that, St. Louis, Houston, that's another interesting game just because Doug Fister's a guy I've been backing repeatedly quite a bit. Kind of interested to back Houston here in this game. Again, Houston much better at home here at Minute Maid Park than they've been on the road this season. Again, pretty consistent stuff from Doug Fister in his last several starts for the Houston Astros. His track record against St. Louis, faced them earlier this season, only gave up 2 runs in 7.1 innings at Busch Stadium, a 5-2 Astros win over the Cardinals. That was back in June. I think Fister can have a good start here. Now, you got Carlos Martinez on the other hand, guy with all the ability in the world, but he's really lacked consistency of late. You look at the last 3 starts for Carlos Martinez, 4 runs in 7 innings against Miami. Really got pounded by Atlanta of all teams. 7 runs in just 5 innings. Last time out against the Cubs, really labored 112 pitches just to get through 6 innings while allowing 3 runs on 7 hits to the Cubs. Cardinals don't win that game. In fact, Cardinals 0-3 in Carlos Martinez's last 3 starts. So they've had trouble winning with Martinez on the mound. I know he's never faced this Houston team before, and that's usually an advantage to the pitcher. But you got a Houston team that's been much better at home all season long. Fister dominated the Cardinals earlier this season when he faced them. I think -110, -115 here. Houston at home. It's a reasonable enough price to back the Astros in that one. All right, that's my look at MLB early lines for the games on Wednesday, August the 17th. I'm Sports Champion Cameron for Sportsbook Review. Until next time, enjoy the games and good luck.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.